What's up guys, Bryce here. We're back at it again for another video, and today we'll be doing a hot lap guide of Baku. This is another street circuit. I particularly like street circuits actually. I just think they're really fun and they're really challenging. This one is a very long one actually. It's a minute and 40 pretty much lap time, a minute 48 or so, almost a minute 50, almost 2 minutes, and it is very long, but it's a fun track actually, and it has a really long straight, but it's a very tricky track to get right. It's really hard to gain time around here. Once you've gotten to that sort of limit, you really just have to push the car as much as you can. The first two corners are pretty much 90-degree turns. So yeah, we're doing a hot lap guide, then an in-depth guide, and then the setup will be after that. So let's get right into it. So after going down the long straight, breaking down to turn 1 very late, once the apex starts, third gear, that's when I usually turn in. Once you kind of pass the apex, going down to turn 2, it's another 90-degree corner that's pretty much identical to the first one. DRS very early, almost as you exit the corner, it's right there. Going down this decently long straight, braking right before the 100-meter board, going down to this corner. It's so easy to lock the brakes in this corner. I have no idea why. Very easy, carrying the car out wide, bringing it back to the other side, braking before the 50. And turning in for another basically 90-degree corner, going down to the trickiest section of the track in my opinion, going down to second gear, and you really want to clip this curb on the inside but not too much because it can upset the car, trying to get a good exit as possible. Going down to another tricky section and unique part of the track, going down into first gear sometimes to get the extra rotation, going up the castle section, one of the coolest corners on the track actually, going uphill through this castle, another right-hander, and flicking the car back to the left for this back straight. Going down this back straight, just trying to make it as straight as possible. Going down to this corner right here, breaking down to third gear. I usually don't mount that whole curb. I know a lot of people do to gain time, but I just don't do that. I don't think it's reliable. Going down to this corner here, break it down to third gear, trying to clip that curb as well. And now for the long back straight, really going through this section right here. You just want to make it as straight as possible and try not to hit the walls coming out of this, because if you don't see it, but it does come pretty quick at you. And going down for this long back straight, you hit about 200 miles an hour, and if you have a really low downforce up like I have, I reach 212 or 213 miles an hour. DRS open there, and that is a lap of Baku. Now for a more in-depth guide. So breaking down to this first corner can be very difficult. Really what you want to do is right before the 100, put the car all the way on the right hand side over that curb, third gear, and make sure you clip a little bit of this first curb. It's so easy to lock up the wheels and lose speed. Carrying the car all the way out wide, going down to this corner, third gear, again clipping this curb. You don't want to take all of it because it can upset the car and you can lose time. Use all of the track. That is the key around this track, using all the track on the outside, but do not hit those walls. Going down this straight right here, same thing for this corner right before the 100. It's super easy to lock up the brakes. Try to use all the track on the left and the right, and on the left just clip that curb. I missed it just a little bit, carrying the car all to the right, swinging it back to the left right before the 50, again clipping this curb on the inside and carrying the car out wide to get as good exit speed as you possibly can. Going down for this corner right in between the 100 and the 50, brake, and once that curb on the right appears, that's when to turn in second gear. Use all the curb on the left and on the right as well, just clipping it a tiny bit and trying to really just put all the speed out of that corner as fast as you can. Going down to this corner before the 50, going down to first gear or second, trying to take as much curb as you can, full rotation. It's so easy to go out wide and hit that wall on the left. As you can see here, a little fishtailing going on there. Third gear through the castle section as tight as you can get it, really. And for this corner, you want to kind of don't take it too fast because you want to go to the right a little bit so you can flick the car back and kind of slingshot your way out of this corner. Don't go too wide here because it can invalidate the lap. It's very tight through that section. Going to this section, really, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just take the line as clean as possible. Going down this corner before the 100, stay to the right as much as you can to get a really late apex going into this corner. It is very difficult, but it is pretty easy. You can mount that whole curb, but I prefer not to. Right after the 100-meter board, third gear, once you touch the curb on the right, I usually turn in and try to get as good an exit as you possibly can, even though the straight is very long. And really just keeping it as clean as you can through this section and trying to make the line as straight as possible. And then going down this long straight, DRS is coming up in, I think DRS should be a little bit earlier, but it is actually pretty late down this straight right here. And this basically leads you all the way down to back to the first corner. So again, Baku's a pretty cool track. It's very a unique track on the calendar. There's a lot of 90-degree corners, a lot of straights, but then there's also some really cool corners actually. So it's a really cool track. I think it's my second favorite street circuit besides Monaco. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like down below. And here's the setup on screen, so you guys can look at that. Usually, I really try to run the downforce as low as possible, especially for races, just because you do not want to get past on the straight. So sometimes I run 2.4 in the race, but you can run 3.4 or whatever downforce really suits you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.